So this is a file that we are basically right now. If you see, I have a main branch right now, which is available, and I will be updating this file, right? Right now I have a empty file, right? I have an empty file. First, we will be creating a branch and we'll change something, right? What exactly is the changes? Let me tell you what exactly. So here, how to create this, right? It is very simple. Suppose I want to test this, right? I want to test something, right? So this is my test phase. I want to add a phase into this, right? In this phase, I can add, this is a YAML that basically we are writing right now, right? So in this YAML, you have to know about the basics of YAML is nothing but a key value pair, right? What I want is I want to execute a particular script. What exactly is the script that we have? So we have a, suppose I'm going to say echo, right? Running the hello world, right? This is just a hello world CI that we have added. Now what will happen? Pramod, what do you mean by this? What is happening right now? If I commit this file, suppose I'm committing this file. Now see, automatically a pipeline was triggered. So now what happened is very simple. So this we have added. If you go to CI, go to pipeline. Now what you will see is that in this repo, we have made some changes. Yes or no? In this repo, we have made some changes. So continuous integration will be executed. This stage will be executed. See, it will execute a test, whatever that you have basically discussed. It is actually executing the command that you have, right? Echo command into a Docker. It basically now what it is doing is that whatever the repo that you have, right? It will basically push and it will create a Docker container. Docker container is nothing but a Linux container. In that Ruby 3.1 is installed. This is by default. We have not mentioned anything, right? That's why. Now it will execute the echo command. So echo command will be a normal Linux command. So it is executed and your job is succeeded. It means now your repo have a CI basically now added to this, right? So you have a continuous integration. Whenever something is added into your repo. Right now, if you have seen, I have added something to repo, right? I have added a .gitlab.ci file. So if you go to repository, go to file, right? You will see that yes, I have added a file, right? By adding this file, you will see in the CI CD, we have automatically a job is triggered, and this basically executed some code, all this code that we have. Right now we don't have any code, but we will execute the code also, right? Here now you can, instead of echo command, you can execute anything. For example, you can run your Maven project, you can run your test.ng file, you can execute anything that you want into that Linux machine, right? So now Pramod, I got the point, right? So pay attention right now what we are doing here. If you see, I have this project. So let's see the real project in this case while we are learning this, right? Go to this, we have a rest assured workshop project that we have created. Now, if you see, this is a proper project. It's a proper Maven project, which you can definitely run. So I have discussed, this is actually a proper API automation framework that we have created in 30 days of challenges. And generally we do it in job ready automation tester also, right? So overall, if you see, we are running 2 test cases here, which is get request and the post request as of now, properly added. And how to run this? If you want to run this, you have to execute this command, right? This is the code that we have basically coded, right? This is the exactly repo that you have seen in the GitHub. How to push this repo to GitHub and everything, right? I have basically discussed in that Git tutorial, right? Suppose we have already added this into a GitLab. I'm going to show you like how you can import. You can import this GitHub repo directly to the GitLab also, right? So here I have everything available. How to run this project here, they have mentioned right here. So, but just you have to run, which is mvn clean test, which means the machine, the Docker machine who's going to run this code. So it means we can run the mvn clean command. So make sure that mvn is basically installed into that machine. Then only this test case will run, right? Okay, so fine. Pramod, this is fine. And I have a GitLab CI available. So anywhere, if you add anything, right? So this is the Maven, this is the project that we are going to do. In this one, what we are doing is we are basically running everything onto a Linux based machine where we have a Maven installed. It is running the test.ng file and it is pushing everything into the LR report, and it is using AWS where every code is getting pushed, as well as we are able to generate our report also directly. So now we have a fully integrated CI CD pipeline, right? But again, let's see how we can do it in the same way. Right now, if you see, we have a very basic program, Pramod, where we are running just one script, right? But again, we have not told him which image you can use. Right now, it is using a by default image. If you have noticed, it has used a by default image, right? Which we really don't want to see. What we want to see is that we want to use a particular image which is lightweight and which can basically help us to execute something, right? So this is a first mini project that we are doing. Then we will run the automation, right? So how to do it? It's very simple. So this is a test stage, right? If you go to the pipeline, you will see there is a test stage available here, right? See, this is a test stage that you have basically named, right? Now what you can do is you can modify this also. So let's go to editor and see all the features of the GitLab. We will explore more right now. So what I'm doing is we will use a different image of Docker, right? These are just a Docker images. We will use Alpine. If you know, right, it's a lighter version. Alpine Docker is nothing but a lighter version of the, if you see, it's a minimum Linux machine, only 5 MB, right? Which is very, very great, right? So what we are going to do is now I'm going to do a couple of steps in this script, right? Instead of running the hello world, we are going to create a directory. Let's suppose I can create a directory, right? This is a Linux base, so I can do mkdir, which is to create a directory. We will cd this to this directory, right? I can basically create in this directory, I can create a readme.md file, right? And what I can do is I can put something into this file, right? If I want to put I am Pramod, right? So in this file I'm gonna put, so you can do readme.md file, right? Make sure this is spelling is clear. So what is this, Pramod? What is going on here? Here what we are doing is we are now telling in this repo, whenever somebody will make any changes in this repo, we are going to execute this. This is a continuous integration, and this is what we are going to do. We are going to execute this command, all of them. This is a mini project that we are doing, right? So right now here I have done, which is basically we have added that, okay, this is a file which will be created by using the touch command. It will create a file and it will basically put I am Pramod in this file, right? So if you want, now everything is done, you can basically now commit the changes, right? So we have committed the changes. It means automatically our pipeline will start. See, automatically our pipeline will start. If you open the pipeline here, you will see, since you have made a changes into the repo, here automatically it will start running. This is the important point of the GitLab, where you have a CI CD, everything will be done. See, now you will see everything is done. Green basically means that your echo is also successful. It means your readme file is done. So everything is done, pipeline is done, right? Here it will update the status. We are right now in a main branch only. Here if you see, pipeline is done, everything is great. Can we add more stages? So right now we have more stages, right? Instead of this, can we have more stages? More stages basically means sometimes in Maven automation framework that we are going to run, right? First of all, we have to clean the build, then we have to test the build, then we have to basically publish the results, right? So suppose there are 3 steps that we have. So yes, you can do it here also. So what you can do is you can create something called as stages, right? In this one. So first of all, first stage that we have is build. Let's say first is clean. So clean generally we will not use. This is a mini project, right? So we'll use build stage and a test stage. This is just a basic, nothing fancy in this case. So now in the build stage, right, you have to create a build stage like this. This is a YAML build stage that we are basically doing. So what I'm going to do in this small project is whatever the file that we have created, this is a build stage, right? So this is a build stage where we have created a file. What I want is I want to push this file, right? I want to basically pass this, whatever the file is created, right? I want to pass this to another stage, which means this is a second stage, which is test stage, right? These are like 2 stages. First stage will run separately, second will run separately, right? So if they are running separately, we need to pass the data from one to another also, right? For example, this file, if suppose I want to check if this file is created or not, or this contains am Pramod or not, then I need to pass this file, right? Yes or no, right? Absolutely. So what I need to do is, that's where the concept of artifacts come in. So whatever the artifacts that you have, right, you can add the artifacts exactly where it is basically a file is that, which artifact you want. So in this case, I want paths. What is the path of that file, right? Here, if you see, we have a test folder. This is that folder that we have created, right? all this file folder will be now available to all the different stages. But what is the second stage that we have in the testing phase? So this was a build phase, right? So build phase, we need to tell them what is the stage that you have, right? So this is a build phase. So this is build, which is matching with this. Now you have a stage 2. So this is also going to use the Alpine. So we'll copy this same image we are going to use. Instead, this is a second stage, which is a test one, right? And what is the script that we have? Script is very simple. Instead of this, what we are going to do is we are going to just copy. We are going to that directory. So CD. So make sure you are not basically handling properly. YAML is correct. And so we are going to do basically artifact. If you see, right, it will expire after 30 days. But again, test folders will be available here also, because now this is a stage 1. It will be run separately, but it will give you an artifact in the end, which is your test. This test you can leverage here, and I want to cat. Cat basically means I want to read this file, right? So this is what I have done, and I'm basically pushing everything into the commit changes, right? So see, our pipeline is correct, and it will run 2 stages. Now if you see, we will have a 2 stages now to the GitLab. See, now you will see there are 2 stages. First stage is where we are building this project. Second stage is basically test. So first phase should pass. See, first phase is passing. Here if you see, we have a green signal, which means everything is great. Right now we have to check the second stage. Now are we able to read that file or not? Right, that's what. So right now it is in the test stage. Click here again. It is running, right? Here if you see, these are the changes. Go to this pipeline, this number. Here you can see what's going on. See, you have a build stage and a test stage. Test stage also passed. It means we are able to read that file. See, so if you noticed, it is downloading the artifacts. Artifacts is test folder. In the test folder, it was able to cat, right? It was able to see a file, and it was able to cat also. I think it has not printed the file, but again, you got the point, right? It was able to cat that file also. It means there was a file which is present into the test folder, right? Or if suppose you are not sure, Pramod, I'm not sure, I want to see what exactly is there, right? Go to artifacts. You can download this artifact and see. So if you see, there are 2 artifacts which are present. Let's see what are the different things available. Download this. I'm gonna open this in these. Hey, let me check. If you noticed, yes. So here is the file, right? So I have a file available, right? So here is the file, right? I am Pramod. So the file is available automatically now. So now Pramod, I got it. So now I have an idea. So GitLab, what exactly it is doing is, I have a branch, I have a code. I can create something called as steps or stages, which will be executed whenever there is a change in this branch, right? So this is a continuous integration. Now after this, I want to deploy the result also to AWS, right? This is what I want to do. All right. So now let's quickly jump.